What's up, guys? It's Shadow Icelock here, and I'm joined once again with Nick,
What's up?
Isaac,
Hey, what's up?
and I'm also joined today with my friend Drew.
Hey everybody, my name is Drew, and I'm excited to be talking here with David and Nick and Isaac about the playoffs.
And today we are going to be first going over our picks from last week's Divisional Round playoffs, and then we're going to be making our own predictions for this week's Conference Championship games. So, last week Nick went 2-2 in his picks. Isaac went 1-3, and I went 4-0. Any thoughts on any of these games? Let's start off with the Seattle Atlanta. Any thoughts, guys?
No, not really. Atlanta went out there and did their job.
Isaac?
Yeah, they played really well. The Seahawks just weren't ready for them.
Okay, so as many of you know, I'm a diehard Seahawks fan, and it kind of pained me to watch the Seahawks have to play without All-Pro safety Earl Thomas. Throughout the game, we had injuries to our O-linemen. Deshaun Shedd, our number 2 cornerback, went out with a torn ACL. Our third cornerback, Jeremy Lane, went out with cramps. And so we were just hurting all up and down the roster, which led to holding calls, which took back Devin Hester's 79-yard return, led to Russell Wilson getting stepped on and causing the safety. So while the Atlanta Falcons were very proficient offensively, I definitely think that there were a lot of injuries and just plain out mistakes that the Seahawks made that caused us to lose. Not to take anything away from the Falcons, but I definitely think that the Seahawks put up a good fight with what we had, and I was pretty pleased to see how we finished. But it was definitely a fun game to watch. Just a lot of mistakes, a lot of injuries.
Yeah, it's kind of what I thought for most of this season. Seahawks have just been too inconsistent. Matt Ryan is playing really good football, MVP caliber, I'd have to say. Houston, New England, any thoughts other than what we expected?
No, we knew that the Patriots were gonna win. Everybody knew that.
Nick?
Yeah, there's no brainer there.
I definitely think Houston missed a lot of opportunities with the drop passes by Fuller. He's had a problem with that all season. But other than that, we expected New England to win. We expected them and Bill Belichick to take care of business, which they did.
Yeah, I gotta say that the Houston actually did a good job pressuring New England. They just couldn't score the points to match up with them.
Yeah, they did a good try.
First half,
Okay, on.
they really let it go.
Yeah.
All go at halftime.
Yeah. After halftime, New England just took over. Okay. Now on to probably the most exciting and most watched game this past week. Green Bay and Dallas, where Green Bay pulled it out 34-31. Any thoughts?
I mean, you gotta stop Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now, if not the best. And if you let him get hot, he's gonna just keep tossing him.
Okay, what about you, Isaac? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I think Green Bay played extremely well. Both teams played really good, but in the end, Green Bay just had it. And I think that Green Bay is not one to be messed with in the conference championships. I think the Falcons are going to have their work cut out for them.
That was a very fun game to watch. I really wanted to see Dallas lose. At first, I think Green Bay jumped out to a 21-3 lead, and I definitely thought that rookies Elliott and Prescott would fold under the pressure, but they definitely didn't look like rookies. They fought real hard. It was just Aaron Rodgers. He really won the game more than Dallas lost the game, especially that last 36-yard pass to Jared Cook. That was just remarkable play by Aaron Rodgers. We're all used to that, and so I was definitely excited to see Dallas be one and done. But props to Aaron Rodgers and the pack.
Yeah, and also props to Jared Cook with that amazing catch there on the sideline.
Definitely, that was all skill right there.
Yeah, Green Bay. I just have a feeling Rodgers is just really hot right now. It's going to be hard to stop him. Uh, it was a phenomenal year for the Cowboys, especially with the offense being led by two rookies, Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott. They did a phenomenal year. Even though they didn't win a playoff game this year, they've got a bright future ahead of them.
Yeah.
So they've got years to come to get to the Super Bowl with these two rookies. And the final game of the week, which was originally supposed to be the morning game on Sunday, but got pushed back because of icy weather and stuff like that. Pittsburgh beat Kansas City 18-16. Any thoughts, Nick?
Field goals.
Okay.
I mean, Kansas City did their job in keeping Bell and Brown limited enough as to not let Pittsburgh score a touchdown. But you can't let those field goals keep getting you like that. There's too many penalties on the Chiefs. There's too many bad calls by the playmakers. The offense wasn't working together how they should have been.
Okay, Isaac?
Yeah, I just think we stopped the killer bees. We did. But the things that kept getting us was we kept letting them get too close, and then they kept getting field goals.
I definitely think that the better team won. I really expected Kansas City, or I guess I didn't expect, but I kind of hoped that Kansas City's offense would play a little better. Travis Kelce, he was on the Chiefs. He was complaining about the holding call at the end of the game. However, I mean, he accounted for so many yards and penalties that I just didn't think he had any room to talk. So I definitely think the better team won. Props to the Chiefs defense, though. They did a really good job in making sure Pittsburgh didn't get into the end zone. But all in all, I think that game had a lot of talent, had a lot of definitely rising stars in the league that we got to watch. And so that was a very fun game. That was one of the best games, I think, in the playoffs, or actually in the whole year. Very fun to watch because I like defensive games, and that was very fun to watch.
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately for the NFL, the high action, high scoring games they tend to get the more ratings. It's good fun to watch some defensive battles once in a while.
Yeah, definitely.
The Kansas City defense, they did a great job keeping Pittsburgh out of the end zone. But unfortunately, their offense couldn't match up the same firepower, the yards that Pittsburgh's offense was racking up. They weren't able to get into field goal range as much. Only got one field goal, I think, the entire game for Kansas City. And they scored the only 2 touchdowns of the game. And I'd have to say there's no other Andy Reid, Alex Smith way of losing a game than scoring 2 touchdowns and still losing. The only 2 touchdowns, I have to say. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and go on to our picks this week. We have the conference championship matchups. We're going to go first with the NFC conference championship game. Green Bay will face Atlanta in what will be the final game in the Georgia Dome. Nick, who you got for this one and why?
I've got Green Bay on this one. As much as I'd love to see Atlanta go to the Super Bowl again, Green Bay's too hot right now. And even though Atlanta's got a great offense with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones and all of them, Green Bay's too hot right now to stop.
All right. Isaac, what about you? Green Bay or Atlanta?
I'm gonna have to go with Green Bay on this one because, as Nick said, they're on fire, and I think that it's gonna be a good matchup. But I do have to pick Green Bay because I think they can take it all.
Okay then, Drew, what about you?
I'm rolling with the Green Bay Packers, simply because of Aaron Rodgers. He's been playing lights out. Recently, people have been comparing him to being the Michael Jordan of the NFL, just making remarkable plays with no matter who he has on the field. We all know that he's missing Jordy Nelson, which is what we thought would make a big difference. However, we saw in the Dallas Cowboys game that he didn't skip a beat. He made the receivers around him better, and I definitely think that the Falcons are going to put up a great fight. But I mean, I just can't shoot. I can't pick against Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, so I'm rolling with the Pack to move on to the Super Bowl.
All right. That's very understandable there. For me, this is probably going to be... Both of these games are going to be really close this week. I think they're going to be phenomenal games. You got Aaron Rodgers, who has been on fire these past 7 or 8 weeks, going up against the Falcons, who have played great all year. They've got a really nice balanced team on offense. You know, they got a bunch of playmakers, a nice duo in the backfield. Defense has been doing somewhat well, but like I said last week, it's hard to stop Aaron Rodgers when he's hot. Green Bay is going to be my pick. Aaron Rodgers is just playing at a phenomenal level right now. They scored 34 points on the Dallas Cowboys, mind you, without Jordy Nelson. If Jordy Nelson is back this week, that could mean a whole lot more for this Green Bay offense.
Yeah, they're just not something to be messed with right now. They're not to be taken lightly.
Alright, now I'll go into the AFC Championship, Conference Championship. Pittsburgh going to New England. And I think, fun fact, the last time that I think Ben Roethlisberger played Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game was, I think, went back to the playoffs of 2005, I think, right before Super Bowl 39. That was Ben Roethlisberger's rookie year, and I think New England wanted to win the Super Bowl that year.
Oh, wow.
So, in this matchup, who you picking, Nick?
I gotta say that I've got New England on this one. As the Chiefs had that great defense to stop Pittsburgh, but New England's a really tough team at that. You know, the odds are all in their favor. You can't win with field goals, in all honesty. Patriots are hot with Tom Brady, Edelman. They've got all their star players out except for Gronk right now, so I think they're a real force to be reckoned with. And I gotta pick the Pats.
Okay. Isaac, who you got?
Alright. I'm going to have to go with the Patriots on this one because the Patriots are just a phenomenal team all around. And I don't think that if the Steelers couldn't get through the Chiefs defense with Bell and all the other killer bees, I don't think they're going to be able to get through the New England Patriots because they're a phenomenal team. Their defense is amazing, and their offense, especially with Dak Prescott and Elliott, they're going to be
Wrong
very
team.
good.
You said Dak Prescott and Elliott.
Oh, yeah.
What team are you talking about, Isaac?
I don't know. I'm mixed up in all my players.
Alright then, okay. Drew, what about you?
I'm rolling with the Pittsburgh Steelers to beat the New England Patriots in Foxborough. As a Seahawks fan, I definitely was very satisfied when I got to see my Seahawks beat the Patriots in Foxborough. And we did that because of 3 things. Number 1, we ran the ball well, and we kept the ball out of Tom Brady's hands. And I definitely think that the Pittsburgh Steelers can do that. We've seen Le'Veon Bell break records the past 2 weeks with 167 yards and 170 yards rushing over the past 2 games. And so that checks off number 1. Number 2, you have to be able to make and facilitate big plays. And because with Gillette Stadium being such a momentum advantage for the New England Patriots, you have to be able to generate big plays. And we all know that Big Ben, Antonio Brown, and Le'Veon Bell can do that. As the the Seahawks were able to do that with Doug Baldwin and Jimmy Graham a little bit, but definitely I don't think we'll be able to do it as much as the Steelers can. So I think the Steelers have a head up in that one. And then the third thing you have to do is frustrate Tom Brady. And we were able to get to him in the regular season, frustrate him a little bit, brought down his completion percentage. We actually stole a pick from him too because he was getting a little frustrated and he decided to throw a ball downfield. And we were lucky to pick that off. And I definitely think that the Steelers can do the same thing. Shazier is one of my favorite linebackers. He's so fast. He can fly sideline to sideline. He can get to the ball. And so for those three reasons, because they can run the ball, because they can make big plays, and because they can frustrate Tom Brady, I definitely think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are more than capable of, I don't even know if it's an upset. I think they can beat them, and I think that they have logical reason to be favorites going into this game.
Okay. Yeah, that's nice reasoning there with that pick. I'm gonna pick Pittsburgh on this one. Pittsburgh's clearly the underdog in this game. I personally think that the Kansas City Chiefs defense is a lot better than the New England Patriots defense. Bell, the last time that the Steelers played New England in the regular season, mind you, Bell was not yet on his hot streak, and Landry Jones was the quarterback for Pittsburgh in that loss. But Pittsburgh's defense, they've really stepped up throughout the year. Throughout the entire year, they've stepped up big time. Bud Dupree is really emerging as a great pass rusher. I think their pass rush is as good as the Houston Texans pass rush last week. And so if they're able to get pressure on Brady, that could slow down the Patriots. And plus, the Steelers' offense is leagues better than Houston's. I think if their defense is able to get pressure on Tom Brady like Houston's defense did last week, while being able to put up points on the offensive side of the ball a lot better than Houston, then Pittsburgh, I think, is probably the best chance at keeping New England away from a Super Bowl championship. But Pittsburgh, they have to find the end zone this week. They have to find the end zone.
Cut out for them.
They've got, like you said, they do have all their odds against them, but I think the way that Pittsburgh's playing, they can pull it out against New England in Foxborough. Okay, then.
Alright, it's going to be a good game.
Both these games this week are going to be really great. Sunday morning in 12 o'clock Sunday in Pacific Standard Time, Green Bay will play Atlanta in the final game in the Georgia Dome for the NFC Championship game. And then at 3:40 Pacific Standard Time, Pittsburgh will play New England in Foxborough for the AFC Championship game. Those are our picks. Let us know what you think down below in the comments. And we'll see you next week as we go over the championship games. And as we look, and then our look ahead towards the Super Bowl week, and maybe a little thoughts and discussions on the Pro Bowl. We'll see about that. All right, see you later.
All right.
See you guys later.
Bye. Thank you.